He's one of the best dancers you'll ever see walk through Texas basketball. He can really dance.
Being from Dallas, that's all we kind of did was dance, and I love to dance. I'll pick up on all the newest dance moves, and that's just part of my personality. Like when I'm dancing, that means I'm enjoying everything.
Him and Jacob are the ones you always know when they're around. They're somewhere dancing.
Me and Andruw, we love to dance. You can see every day before practice, we always just like get grouped together and we just start dancing.
You need to get him and Andruw to bottle it off. That'll be the closest bottle you see all year. That's Texas Got Talent right there, baby.
Andruw Jones, that dancing true freshman, starting to find his rhythm out on the court for Texas. Last 5 games, 15.8 points per game. Poor guy's one of the best freshmen in the Big 12 and may not right now even be the best basketball player in his family. His sister Alexis Jones is coming off a triple-double for the Baylor Lady Bears. 24 points, 12 assists, 10 rebounds. It's a good basketball family, and you know them well. Who is Andruw Jones? Before we go into on the court, who is the young man that is Andruw Jones?
He's a great kid who comes from a phenomenal family, both just in terms of the character and makeup of their family and the basketball background, the athletic background of their family. Andrew's father, David Jones, was a very, very good player, has a coaching background. His uncle, Andre Patterson, played for Bobby Knight at Indiana, played in the NBA for a long time, works in the NBA now. You mentioned Andrew's sister, who's a big-time player. Andrew's mom, Carla, was a really, really good track athlete as well. So just a really athletic family.
And there's a lot of players that have great bloodlines like that, but what separates Andruw Jones from the rest?
Well, I think every family, every kid has a unique story, and I think that the Jones family is no different. One thing about Andruw is he has a drive inside of him that I think in part was created by the fact that his sister was such a phenomenal player as Andruw was growing up. And, part of him wanted to match and exceed what she's done. And, obviously she's now in her final year playing college basketball, killing it at Baylor, and Andrew's just getting started, but man, is he doing some terrific things.
And you mentioned just getting started. This hot streak over the past 5 games, he's doing it all coming off the bench. We've seen him in both roles, starting the game and now coming off the bench, providing that spark, which he did immediately against Georgia. What went into the decision like that in terms of how you use Andruw Jones, whether it's starting or coming off the bench? How was that decision made?
Well, there's a lot of things that go into those types of decisions, and some of them have less to do with an individual, more to do maybe with the whole team. But one of the things you've seen from Andruw in the last 5 games is playing major minutes. And you're going to see him continue to play more and more as he keeps doing what he's doing. I think in the last 5 games, he's played as well or better than anyone on our team.
That's tough to argue against when you look at the numbers and just look at the tape. What I looked at is those first couple of steals that he had against Georgia. The first one, he's fighting through a screen. I don't even know how he picks up the basketball because it doesn't even look like he can see it, but it almost like feels it and finds it.
Well, Lowell, that's something that you see with freshmen is, like a lot of freshmen, he came in and defensively he was a little bit behind in terms of navigating screens, some of the stuff off the ball. It's not so much guarding the basketball on a guy who has it. It's more the off the ball intricacies of defense. He's made major progress with that. Now he's able to turn that progress into opportunities in transition on the other end.
And we know about the clutch moments, just thinking back to a week ago against Oklahoma, that game-winning three-pointer. What we talked about earlier this season with Andruw Jones is our first breakdown. What is one of the first things that you noticed about the kid in his game? Transition. He's one of the best freshmen in America when it comes to this.
He really is, and we saw this while we were recruiting him. The combination of size and athleticism and shooting that Andruw has makes him really dangerous in transition. So here you see Snoop get a steal out of our press, throws it ahead to Andruw. And again, Andrew's a big guard and an athletic guard. So now he can take on a big here in transition and go finish, which is something that smaller guards just have a hard time doing. Again, Snoop does a great job sharing the ball here, and then Andruw just attacks.
So we see one against Oklahoma, another same situation here against Baylor. Starts it defensively.
Good example here of playing the passing lanes. He was there to give help, but he also got a hand on the pass. And now he gets out in transition, and it's him against Motley. He makes a nice step-through move and finish.
So good move there.
Getting his hands on the basketball is huge. And this is what we talk about all the time, is being able to create offense with your defense.
Tell me about this move coming up, because this is special.
Yeah, this is impressive. And, he gets the ball here, and there's a few defenders that are back. But until those defenders get turned, Andruw knows I have an advantage because I'm facing the rim, and those guys aren't turned yet. So he's attacking. They finally get turned, but by the time they do, they're not able to move their feet enough to stay in front of him. And he's really good at splitting the defense here and then getting better and better at finishing.
And this is something that you don't have to be a basketball expert to know that that's next level.
Well,
That's
the exciting thing is the progress he's making with his strength, with his confidence, and then how aggressive he is.
Yeah, we talk a lot about player development, and there's no doubt. I mean, these freshmen, these sophomores, they're not the same guys that we saw open up the year, getting better and better with every week that goes by. We've also seen Andruw Jones run a little point by committee this season, and it's something he said was a little bit of a challenge for him because in high school, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was easy for him, but this is a little bit of a different situation in his words.
Well, Andrew's played a lot of point guard for us, and he's getting better and better. In this game against Georgia, our last time out, he had 8 assists. So he's really making progress. One of the things that we talk about a lot is using pick and roll and making the right decision. So here, he comes off a pick and roll. We talk about anytime you get 2 defenders on you, that means someone's going to be open off the ball. One of the things that Georgia did is they tried to run an defender from the backside corner through what we call the throwback pass. So typically we would throw it back to Jarrett, but they tried to run through that pass. So Andruw makes a nice pass here to Jacob. Jacob catches it in rhythm and shoots it in.
And is that something that you had seen already develop in the game, or does he make that read just on a whim?
It's something we talked about going into the game, and then it's his job to make the read, and he makes a really good read here. One of the things we do, I do this with Andruw and do this with Snoop, is we'll sit down and we'll watch every pick and roll that he used in the last game, and we'll talk about the read that he made. And in that case, he made the exact right read. Here's another one where he comes off. This time we hit Shaq, a little action away from the ball. Andruw ends up getting it back. And you see what they do here defensively is they go under the screen. The great thing about Andruw is if you want to go under screens against him, he can shoot the ball in rhythm, and he can shoot it in from 3. And as you saw, he's shooting 45% from 3 in the last 5 games, which is huge.
Typically, if you're going under the screen, you're trying to prevent that drive.
Yeah, going under the screen is a way to protect the paint. But what you give up there is potentially the outside shot. So typically, defenses will go under against guys that they're not so worried about making shots. Well, Andruw can really make shots. Here's one more pick and roll clip where Andruw comes off. It's him and Jarrett. So when you get 2 of your best guys in pick and roll and you can space the floor, that's a really good thing on offense. And we're doing this more and more. So now, again, he gets 2 on him, and he's able to make the right pass to Jarrett. Now Jarrett gets the ball deep around the basket and can go finish.
So we're seeing the fruition of point guard U that we talked about last week really coming into play here with Andruw Jones. I learned a new phrase last week from you, stay ready, so you don't have to get ready.
That's right.
Which brings us to our next clip here. Andruw staying ready to shoot the ball.
Well, you always want to be shot ready because at the college level compared to high school, you just have less time to get it off.
So what is shot ready?
Shot ready is you're down in the stance, your hands are ready, so your hands are out. Your feet are down, you're ready to step into it. And then probably most important, you're mentally ready that when that ball comes to you, you're going to follow your shot mechanics and shoot it in. Because, again, guys challenge shots in a hurry. You know, here we're playing against Baylor, and they're in the bottom part of their zone. They've got great length. They fly at him. But he was ready to shoot, so he's got the shot off, and he shoots it in. That's one of the reasons why he's been shooting the ball better and better. Here you see him in transition, and Eric makes a great drive, gets in the paint. So we talk a lot about paint touches. Eric gets a piece of the paint. It draws defense to him. And now, again, Andrew's got space. And as long as he's ready to shoot and he can step into it, that's a really, really good shot for him.
So he's going to take that all day. And more often than not, he's going to knock that down. So Andruw Jones, past 5 games, has been phenomenal. In that stretch, we've seen him match a career high in scoring, and also those 8 assists that you mentioned. That was a career high against the Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, not only that, he's playing with really good efficiency right now. One of the things that we talk about a lot with our guards is what we call the Buddy Hield number, and that is field goal percentage plus 3-point percentage plus free throw percentage. And Buddy Hield had a ridiculous number when you added those up. For most of last year, he was like 185, which is crazy. 180 is like the gold standard. If you can be at 180, that's phenomenal, particularly over the course of a whole season. Buddy was over that. Andruw Jones in his past 5 games is 175 when you add those 3 together, which for a freshman is really, really good. And if he can continue progressing there, which I know he can, man, his future is really bright.
Yeah, I'm sure you remind him that Buddy Hield stuck around for a little while to develop into that type of player we saw at the end of his career.
You know, one of the things that we share with our guys is what Buddy Hield's numbers were in those areas when he was a freshman, sophomore, junior, and they weren't the same. You know, he got better. He really made progress. I believe he shot 27% from 3 as a freshman. So Andruw, the way he's shooting the ball as a freshman, particularly of late, is really impressive.
That is a great start for the true freshman.